Warren Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Studios. I'm your host, Dave Bell. 428-9494 is the phone number, 928-428-9494. Happy Friday, everybody. I gotta ask.
Happy Friday.
Woohoo!
Did Friday get here too soon or not soon enough?
I feel these summer weeks are just flying away. I'm looking at that Salsa Fest date, and it's just, it's
Tick, tick,
it's like,
tick.
not tick-tick, it's like a full freight train going full speed through Benson in the middle of the night, and it's waking you up.
I was thinking more
You've
like
never
the
experienced
drip
that.
drip Chinese torture where the water drips on your head and it's like no big deal and then it like goes through your skull.
But there's so much going on in the summer. At the Safford City Graham County Library, I talk about them a lot because they have a lot of events when I do the community calendar connection.
Yep.
They've got yarn crafts going on. They've got create your own RPG character. They've got art classes and origami camp and
They just did
I'm just-
charcuterie.
Yes,
charcuterie.
they
And
just did that.
I saw Royce take pictures that turn your junk into treasure, which is
Yep.
totally her thing.
Which is, yeah.
And I'm so proud of our librarians. They get those grants. They put on those programs. It's one of the best things we have in this community, and I hope people will take advantage of it.
Those voices you hear are Kay Ekval and Vance Bryce with the Chamber of Commerce. Chamber joins me every Friday. Can I say two things? One, I'm embarrassed about. Not embarrassed, but I have to admit, I'm going out of town tomorrow. And then I just found out about what
How
railroad
dare you.
days. I know, because there's stuff happening here. There's a farmer's market that we were talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, the Graham County Substance Abuse Coalition has a family fun
Family-
night.
but that's tonight.
That's tonight.
That's tonight.
Yeah.
No, we're taking the grandkids to the Children's Museum in Tucson. So
Aww.
It's
Yeah.
okay. We're a whole region.
I know, but still, because it's what, railroad
At
days?
least you're not going up to, I don't know, north of the Gila River to Maricopa County or something
No.
crazy like that.
No. That's it. We don't. That's that other valley. We don't.
Someone said that yesterday.
By the way,
We're not-
we
they're
still
not in the
love
valley.
those people because they do visit us. So
As long as
That's
they
right. We love
visit
you.
us.
Yeah.
If they don't, we don't like them.
We like
the-
them when they're in the Gila Valley.
The
We're
other
fair
thing-
weather fans.
The other thing is, we were at a meeting yesterday, and I realized I'm assuming I have a reputation of being a curmudgeon. I believe I'm developing that reputation.
No, they
I
actually
definitely-
commented on you and they appreciated your insight.
Okay, because
Yeah.
I know the city feels that way, because John Casella has given me the business a couple times for my comments, and I appreciate that. I like the fact that he can give,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
this.
Pushback from John Casella?
I
That's
love
awesome.
that.
I can imagine.
I totally love that. But I just realized, because I'm intentionally asking the questions of how could this fail?
Right.
No matter what
absolutely.
we're talking about.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. I do this at GCRC, at CKIS, Downtown
Yeah,
Association.
the devil's advocate.
Exactly.
I've played that game most of my life.
And people that have served with me know me long enough that after I ask those questions, I may still be the one that moves that we do this thing,
Absolutely.
You
because
just gotta ask, you gotta say,
I want to make sure that we've covered all our
Yeah.
bases.
Yeah, and you're asking the question because there may be someone that's thinking it that would never ask it.
Right, and in situations like we were in yesterday, not everybody's comfortable with maybe
Yeah.
challenging a presenter,
Yes.
you know, and look, it's my job, so
Right.
I don't care if I irritate somebody. But I realize I'm probably developing that reputation.
No, we don't.
And it really is intentional, and it's hopefully helpful.
I can just see Donna McGoy nodding her. Oh, she's not at her desk, it's Friday, but
That's Friday, yeah.
nodding in her car as she goes to the yard sales.
So I just want people to know that I'm not always negative. I'm actually really positive. I'm positive about what came out of that meeting.
Absolutely.
There is some really cool stuff that's on the horizon for
Yes.
for the Gila Valley, and I put that in quotes because that's up for debate.
Yeah.
So I don't want to give anything away because it hasn't been fully decided or anything.
Stay tuned.
Yeah,
Dun dun dun.
but it was an incredibly positive experience that I think will benefit everybody here in Graham County.
Absolutely.
So, the chamber, as I said, comes in every Friday. You always bring in super cool people.
Always.
Always, and I happen to know one of the people you brought in today,
Oh, nice.
and I know how cool she is. Who did you bring today?
All right, so I have Amber and Steve Ferguson and Missy Spoon with Bare Yogi, which I love that name because I have never forgot it. I can email it, and it is just with me, and I think of Yogi Bear, and I have a picture, and excellent on naming your business.
Oh, thank you.
So I am personally excited to hear about what you have to bring because I am on a health and wellness journey. I really want to push health and wellness tourism.
Yes.
And you have some really great products and services that just add to my soul.
And for the record, before we go further, Missy and Steve both said, I don't want to talk.
Okay,
So we're going to be hearing the Amber.
there you go.
They're here though.
There's a whole room here, and I believe they're doing it live. Where can I watch this live?
Facebook, Amber Rose Ferguson, I believe is my Facebook
Okay.
currently.
And that'll repeat later.
Yes, it will repeat later. I'm going to try and save it, as well as I'm going to start transitioning that particular Facebook into Amber Yogi. So
There you go.
I'm going to start that probably this next week.
Which is funny because her name is Amber. Or as Steve would say, they're going to call you Amber someday. Which I love. I almost did say Amber.
I hate to say this, Steve, but now you lose the last name when you go Amber.
Yes.
You're just
It's
like
just
Cher and
Yeah.
Madonna. It's
Yeah.
just
Done.
Amber.
He was telling me that. He's like, well, I can't wait till the day that they just call you Am and Bear.
Yeah, that's just it. It's
You
Amber.
know that's going to happen, right?
I love it.
So tell us about Amber Yogi.
Well, actually, I've been here in the Valley. I've been over at the EAC. I love working for the EAC over there as a yoga instructor. I've been working over there since 2013. And I actually started over at Sika Senior Activity Center, which was back in 2012.
That's where I've seen you. You do all the
Yes,
live
I do
yoga,
all
the
the
chair
live
yoga.
yoga.
Okay, I'm just like, you look so familiar. Now I know why.
Yeah, it was Amber 12 Rose from YouTube. So I still hold that channel. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do because I wasn't big on YouTube and knew how to do a whole lot of the technology it took. I was just wanting to do it as well as COVID came. And what did I do? I immediately did it, which I was grateful actually. It got me out there doing what I wanted to start at least looking into and possibly implementing as well. I absolutely love doing yoga in this valley. I have followers. My yoga is different, is what I like to say. I add chakras, meditation, yoga nidra. And this one, actually, we're going to add some patches. So Missy Spoon and I came across patches about a year ago. So that is the Lifewave patch, which is stem cell rejuvenation. And we absolutely love those. They have been on our family, our friends, and we've been doing that. So that has helped increase a lot of things, a lot of mental clarity.
I was going to ask, what do the patches help with?
Everything, actually. More specifically.
Well, we do know that stem cells, basically the wonder drug.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so it is that. It is the stem cells. It is that wonder drug. The good part about it, though, is that it is not anything that is invasive. So there's no injections. There's no things like this, no drugs, no stimulants. It is just a patch that promotes energy flow in the entire body without drugs, without stimulants. It is like a little mirror, actually, of crystals and ions and water and sugars. Not the kind in our kitchen sink or anything, but obviously manufactured in a lab, and it's a lattice work that our own energy, so our own heat and energy within our light within shines out, and within 6 inches this patch activates and shines a new code of light back into you, telling your body where to help yourself, and that includes the mind. So Alaveda patch is what I'm going to be using in our Cacao ritual with Yoga Nidra. That patch actually opens up the pineal gland, helps the mood, helps our skin. So when I have noticed my skin looking great lately the past year and increasingly looking younger, I pretty much, it's the Alaveda patch, but if I can see it on the outside, I can definitely feel it on the inside more than anything. I had digestive issues, and that was, you know, a lot to do with age and different things here. So, but that,
Trust me, I know.
yeah, so
I'm with
the
you.
inside, it's all those soft, it's all the tissue on the inside that lines our organs that it's helping. It's also helping our organs. So it really has helped on so many levels, including the mind. It clears the mind.
That's what I was curious about. I'm seeing a trend. I think it's because we're aging as a nation.
Absolutely.
We know that we lose mental acuity as we get older. Fingers crossed, not too much. How does this help with that? Does it help with focus? Does it help with attitude? Does it, because we know socialization helps with our mental acuity. So does it help us just feel better to get out more? Because you can get in that spiral, you know.
I do, and yes, you can. And actually, there's several patches. And let me just read real quick. Alaveda is for the skin and body regeneration via elevation of the epithelium peptide known to increase organ function, reduce oxidative stress, increase antioxidants, stimulate frontal lobes. So that's really important here. Stimulate the frontal lobes, activate the pineal gland. That's important in my practice. Increase mental clarity and focus, and help with sleep. That's also, our pineal gland opens up. Of course, that gives us our mood stabilizers and helps us with sleep. Second most powerful patch after the X39. So the X39 is the stem cell rejuvenator that I was talking about. And yes, there's another patch, because you reminded me of that, the Eon patch. I like to call it Aeon just because of the spelling, but it's Eon patch. And that's the one that you were talking about that just makes you feel good. It hits the nervous system, and it's instant. These patches, some people may not be that
Right,
they
you
may
get
not
in- you
see
get
that or
into a
feel that
habit.
right away.
Mhm.
And you do get into habits, you know,
Right.
we drink our coffee, we feel that. And after, so many years, we just automatically do that without thinking about how we feel anymore, without thinking about like what it's doing to us until we get off or something for 2 weeks, and then we're like in another world.
All right, so how do you counter that, and how does this counter things like, for example, I can drink a Diet Pepsi right before I go to bed, and I can go to bed.
Wow.
I know,
Yeah,
that's what people say,
habitual.
and because it's habitual,
Yeah,
you're right.
I did that with coffee. I used
Right.
to go to drink a cup of coffee before bed.
Right, and you could go to sleep,
Oh yeah.
but it probably isn't the most restful sleep.
Yes, absolutely.
So does this work? And I'm assuming the yoga plays a big role in
it
this as
so
well.
does.
Does that get you out of that habit, or does that counter what we don't realize we're doing to ourselves?
It doesn't necessarily get you out of that habit, because it's a habit that you have. What I have noticed, especially with
Maybe
Missy
that we don't
and I,
need it?
is you start these patches, and what I noticed is like you feel so good, you feel so much better, you want to all of a sudden have better habits because you're slowing yourself down. Like what I've noticed is, I fast, I do intermittent fasting, and sometimes that's really difficult, especially in the afternoon. You're just starving, and so when you get off that fast, you just want to shovel food in your mouth almost. You don't even want to cook or prepare your food. And sometimes that just happens naturally in our day-to-day stuff. We're so busy nowadays that cooking is like, it's a big deal. Having to think like, it'd be better if I had carrots and celery maybe, but that fast hamburger and french fries is gonna win out. And so what happens with the patch is it slowed me down. I was like, when I came off the fast, for instance, the intermittent fasting, I wasn't in a hurry to shovel into my mouth. I wasn't so starving and frantic, and my brains weren't like hangry. So I was calm, and I was like, you know what? I feel so good. I want to make better decisions for my body. I'm going to eat more fruit, more vegetables. I'm going to be the true yogi I want to be.
We should clarify. What's the difference between yogi and yoga?
Oh, well, yoga is more of an asana. Well, there's 8 limbs of yoga, actually, so it is more than just asana. Asana is what we know in America. Usually, we know the performance of it, the warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3, and all
Number
these.
dog.
Yeah, you got it. And being a yogi is more of a person type thing, and it doesn't mean something huge and spectacular, because sometimes I used to be afraid, like calling myself a yogi, even though I'm a yoga instructor and have been for many years and practice a lot of yoga stuff like pranayama breathing. So that's just the practice of breath. I practice yoga nidra. It's kind of a yogic sleep type thing, but being aware and conscious. I practice all these, but it's like saying you're enlightened, you know. It's not an end all. You never end like, I'm enlightened, I'm there, I'm at the finish line. So it's one of those things that you just take on. You're constantly going to be enlightened throughout life. We hope, you know, that you're constantly
Fingers
opening your
crossed,
mind, and that you're constantly being enlightened little by little, aha moments and stuff like this. And that's where yogi comes in. So I had decided, yes, I am a yogi. I have been. I just need to encompass that and be okay. And it's just like being enlightened. I was hesitant on saying, oh, I've been enlightened again, you know, but no, it's true. It's a process. It's like life. We process everything. We practice everything. So is yoga. So is being a yogi.
So you mentioned the yoga Cacao Alaveda.
Yes, you got it. Yes.
Patch, you're doing an event, or you're inviting people to join you with this? Is that
absolutely?
Or is it a regular practice that you do Cacao?
No.
Oh, okay.
So regular practice is at Sika Senior Activity Center. It's also at the EAC. I have worked at other places around as well, off and on. Those are just my stabilizers, the ones that I've had for like over 10 years. Those practices, they do encompass my yoga nidra. They don't necessarily encompass my patches. Those are expensive, guys. Not too expensive, just saying. So if you're thinking thousands of dollars, no.
So you can take the EAC class. Is registration still open for summer 1, or is it closed?
I think it's currently closed now.
Okay,
so summer 1
look
is
for
closed,
summer 2 maybe.
But there is summer 2. I do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday currently for summer 2.
And then what do you need to be a certain age to go to the senior center, or anyone can go?
I invite everybody. There's no really certain age, because I do work at the EAC. I have kind of worked at the EAC over at the senior center as well throughout the years. And so what we usually do is I'll give a syllabus to my yogis over at the EAC. I hand that out and I tell them, hey, you want to make up a class? Try this chair yoga. It's, something different, something interesting. I do tons of different yogas, so try something new.
So with patches, you're inviting the community to come and participate.
That I am. So, and the Cacao as well. So with this Cacao plus Yoga Nidra plus Alaveda patch, they are going to experience all three. The Cacao is for the heart opening. So that is a ritual that's coming from Mesoamerica. It is what Aztecs and Mayans have used in ceremonies and rituals with religion and rites of passage, like age things. So they very much use that. And that's where that's coming from, actually, is that cacao bean. And then we have the Yoga Nidra, which is being conscious and aware, yet in a yogic type sleep. So you're very deep. Your mind is aware. And when I talk, I do about 5 to 7 things. Well, let's see, 7 steps to a Yoga Nidra. 7.
So you can watch those monkey thoughts just kind of...
Yeah, kind of drift away, and it's okay.
That's the best.
Exactly. And hopefully they just kind of drift away with the music, and then giving you things to do in your mind, so you won't drift too long. Of course, there's times that we do. That's just what us humans do. We can't help it. Our minds are hard to relax, especially here in America, so we're always on that fast pace. I find that is the one thing people really need, is that deep relaxation, that coming back to yourself. So my yoga is all about self-mastery. I like to align the chakras with self-mastery, so getting a hold of yourself, understanding yourself, connecting to yourself. It's all about you and knowing your inner workings. So allowing that to come into your inner world, because our inner world is a reflection of our outer world, and vice versa. It goes both ways. So we are very connected to inner and outer, whether we know it or not.
428-9494 is the phone number. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with Amber Rose Ferguson. You can check her out live on Facebook right now, as well as live here on KTO. And Vance and Kay from the Chamber back right after this.
So I just have to say, your
Right in front of
voice
your camera a little bit,
is so amazing.
so you see your own.
It's
Yeah,
such a
keep
good
it on.
radio
This
voice.
is the best part.
Yeah,
And get on the live.
To set her up.
So
So I would say bring it
yeah, I
over
was just
this way a little
mesmerized
bit,
by your
so
voice,
that we can get
and I could just feel myself calming. And I had some bad news this morning, and I was still crying when I met him at the car. And your voice was just so
I think so, because you
calming.
really want.
Oh, thank you.
And it was
Yeah,
That's
we're
what I
on,
hope to bring into
Miss.
this.
Well, my aunt called me,
it'd be
and her
nice to
granddaughter
be-
killed
yeah,
herself
that's
yesterday.
not a big deal.
And
It's
I don't
just
know
way
the
you're
girl,
promoting.
but my aunt is close
That's
to
right.
me.
Yeah.
But she's a
We're
human
gonna
being,
even set up
Right.
and
here.
she's young, and it's just, so
You
for
go
me,
ahead and off the whole
I'm
room.
taking on
Yeah.
this mini communication workshop and whatnot, because
I guess I'll practice.
And here.
that's okay, I've had emotional imbalance forever, because I never knew there were tools. And how many people are like this girl that had somebody
Exactly.
met with them, or somebody helped them with their energy, or gave them tools to understand? How could that have changed that outcome? But with that comes a lot of responsibility, like,
No, that's it.
So
so.
when, where, how much?
$40, January.
But
Next
then-
year. June 20th. Summer
Same time as
solstice.
yours?
Yep.
Same time.
And it's
But-
Amber Yogi, right?
Yes.
Okay, make sure I get it right.
Yep.
And where's it at?
Don't know yet.
Okay.
I still want to talk to Gila Cheer. I have till Tuesday, I feel like.
Did you hear it's $25 an hour? That's insane.
No.
For the whole building.
Are you talking about Gila Cheer?
Yeah.
Okay, I've decided.
I literally just called her and I was like, and she's like, oh, it's $25 an hour. And I'm like, thinking in my brain, like, girl, you need to go to SBDC because that's crazy.
That doesn't cover your,
Okay,
your
well,
air
by the way,
conditioning. Yeah,
I need
exactly.
to make contact with them.
Yes, we do.
She
That's a
is-
good price.
Did you tell her the day and time?
No, but I sent an
But you
email
did
that
tell her.
connected you two.
Okay.
I sent an email like I'm connecting you for selfish reasons.
I'm gonna try and have it roped in by Tuesday.
Yes. So yes.
We're gonna have a chamber renovation coming up here, and I was like,
I
we'll
would
just
love
go over
to
to
have
Gila
you
Cheer and hang out
Yes,
in their garden area.
And we could do ribbon cutting there if you start having consistent
Oh,
classes.
yeah,
or,
I'm going to.
So you have
I
a
just,
place.
this is my first, just like, let's get this done.
Right.
And just try and start and move somewhere.
Maxing out the
slow.
class so it's manageable for you, or you as many people as you can get? Or
I'm
what's your
trying
goal?
to max at 30 right now. My goal is 30 people.
Okay.
Because I haven't done all the calculations, but I know I'm safe with 30.
David, doesn't she have the best radio for
She
Oh my
does.
gosh. I
Are
was
you
telling her how
looking for a
cool.
permanent space or just a
No, you
pop-up
would help
space?
with the meditation.
Oh,
Currently,
I've
just a
seen her
pop-up
on
space.
at the
Okay.
I
senior center.
thinking about permanent
Sometimes
space, but
I
it
just watch her. I
makes
don't
me
do
nervous
it.
and I have
But
so
watch
much
her
going
because
on.
she's
I understand.
I mean, just because I am getting myself through the EAC with a bachelor. They offered bachelor for health science. Guess what?
Yeah.
Oh, you're part of that
Oh, heck
first crew.
So
Oh,
were you the
yes.
first
Yes.
one?
Next-
I am.
next
I
year?
hope so. I'm like all excited.
Your last name is F. You may be one of the first 4-year degrees from EAC.
That's what
network.
I keep saying. I'm gonna be
There
one
we
of the
go.
first.
You're gonna have to. People with B or A are gonna get their
Welcome back to the Voice of the Valley here in the Horn Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Studios. I'm Dave Bell. Kay Akval and Vance Bryce from the Chamber are here, as is Amber Rose Ferguson and Missy Spoon from Bare Yogi. We're talking about wellness.
Yes.
I'm
And prevention.
I'm detecting a trend with everybody that Kay brings in. Have you noticed this?
Oh, well, next week I'm coming on with a health and wellness thing.
See?
So it's just, this is the perfect time. The heat's coming on. You're sweating out all the ick, and now we're filling it in with goodness. So it's the season.
Kay is on a path of self-discovery.
I am. It's great.
And
I
I'm
love
like,
it.
my next person I'm bringing on is like OSHA.
Wow.
I'm a
You
Pomeranian.
can put him to sleep first. No, I'm just kidding.
Me.
I interrupted you guys. You were asking questions when we went to break. But
Oh,
we had to
you
go
have a
to
good
break.
question.
Yeah.
Oh, we did talk about this over the break, but where, when, how much? Oh, you don't know where yet. We got that answered.
Well,
don't
we know where,
yet.
but it's not official.
It's
Yeah,
not
It's
official.
here in Graham County.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
Gila Valley for sure.
So how much and what date? And do you have a time?
I do. So Friday, June 20th, on our summer solstice. Oh, solstice, if I can say that correctly there. I'm so excited. In fact, I picked that date because of summer solstice. I'm really excited to do it then. It's going to be Friday at 6 p.m. It'll last approximately 2 hours. It can last 1.5 to 2 hours though. So I'm going to hold the whole 2 hours hopefully.
All right, so I have to ask, so solstice, longest day of the year, summer solstice, which means just simply the most sunlight.
Yes, it does.
That, and we know sunlight, of course, rejuvenates us,
Absolutely.
but too much sunlight is also detrimental.
Yeah.
How does that balance in terms of our well-being? You know, can we overdo on a day like that?
We can. We can overdo anything.
Well, I understand we can, but I mean, that's our natural inclination
is.
well, I've got sun until, you know, go up to
That
Alaska,
would be
they play baseball until like 3 in the morning.
That'd be my husband. He's gonna be hauling water and rocks until sundown. It's like, honey,
Yeah.
honey.
Because you just want to. It's the sun.
Yeah.
And obviously you're trying to find us a center.
Yes, and you know what? I've done that before. I'm the type, I am so just like, let's get it done. I won't eat, go to the bathroom, take a break. I'll just do for strong 8 hours. And yeah, not necessarily good for us,
Right.
you know,
That's
at
why-
all.
that's why
my
I'm asking.
well-being, my health, no. That's also why I teach yoga and stuff, is that keeps me centered, that keeps me balanced. The breath, I find, is one of the most important factors, actually, is really finding that breath. Because if we are all over the place and we have that going on, if we just take deep breaths and come back to awareness and consciousness within ourselves, oh, it's dreamy. I mean, after 5 minutes of taking deep breaths, you just feel like you're on cloud 9, 10. I mean, go up higher too, just breathe more. Take those big, deep breaths.
Well, and we know from people who do, what's it called, the deep diving without oxygen. There's a name for that.
Oh, I've heard of this.
Yeah, that
Crazy.
there almost is a euphoria that comes with that,
It does.
because they do so much deep breathing before they go. Does that mask any issues? Is there concern about that? That you almost get high from the deep breaths, because you're introducing true oxygen in, instead of, you know, the,
True.
I mean, we're in an enclosed space, we're not breathing any true oxygen right now. But when you're outside and you're breathing that, is there any concern that maybe we're getting too much of something? Too much of anything is not
Yeah.
good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Even the good stuff.
Yes. Even when you're doing yoga, you can
Isn't
yoga.
it's hard to get enough oxygen though, isn't it? Like to get all the way to the end of your capillaries, all that oxygen that you need to every part of you.
It's difficult, and I think
They
that's
put you
why
in a
you get
very
that
active
high.
chamber to really get that into you even.
Yeah, there's a nervous system reset activation that I like to do, but you're correct. There is too much sometimes, and sometimes health concerns. So those of us that might have hypertension, rapid heartbeats, or some other issues going on health-wise, I always, you know, even being pregnant, for instance, you're going to have to not maybe do that nervous breath or the nervous system release breath. You may have to take breaks and just take deep breaths. Maybe you're not ready for it emotionally, mentally, because when I do my nervous system breath, and I really get into it, because it goes from fast pace, medium pace, longer pace, and then back to fast pace, and you're holding your breath too. So I've learned I can hold my breath for approximately 3.5 minutes.
Oh my word.
With this practice. But I practice, and
Right.
and a good practice too is Wim Hof breath. He also, his practice is great. Actually, I use his practice to hold my breath for long periods of time.
My brother does that with ice baths.
Yes, ice baths. It works. It warms you up. It makes you think differently while you're in that ice bath, because that's pretty hard for my nervous system to jump in an ice bath. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Who wants to do that? So For sure.
To me,
Just
that's
doing
where
the-
yoga seems to come into play, is you're finding those balances.
Definitely. And definitely calming down to that. And that's where awareness and consciousness comes in. That's where self-mastery comes in, is because you got to know yourself well enough to, oh, this is too much. I'm not feeling right. I'm not in that right space. I'm not calm. My mind is frantic. It's racing. I'm racing. I'm getting tired or painful or something's happening. These are our body messages and our mind to our mind. Hey, look, you need to slow down. Let's get centered. Let's take it back a minute. You know, we tend to ignore them.
I was going to say, I would imagine most of us are out of sorts and don't realize that we've just gotten used to it.
Yeah, it's kind of like that little Disney cartoon with all those little characters in the brain, you know,
Right.
emotions.
Inside Out.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of that, you know, listening and stuff. But, you know, our mind has all that chatter too. So learning to tune some of that chatter out as well through yoga practice, through this mindfulness.
And learning what not to tune out.
Yes,
too.
learning what not to tune out. Like, you don't want to tune out all your emotions. I mean, it's important that you know how your body feels. If something's happening and you're in the middle of something, you're like, why is that pain so painful? If you don't stop, you're never going to know, and it may become more injurious actually to you. So definitely learning to read those signs and things coming to you.
That's cool. I have to tell you, during the break, we also talked about something you're doing with EAC that is brand new to the Valley, and it's super exciting. What would that be?
Oh God, I'm so
I
excited.
hate to do this, we have about a minute.
Go!
Okay, I got my 2-year degree and 2 2-year degrees at EAC, as well as a certification from NASM and EAC for personal training. So I'm well on my way to that 4-year degree. I'm so excited.
One of the first 4-year
I
degrees.
definitely want to be one of the first. I hope to really
Organic
be the first.
4-year degree. You've grown right here, farm to table. 4-year
Yes.
degree.
That's so
Oh, God,
amazing.
it is amazing. I absolutely went. I was so excited when they said, hey, we got health science. Oh, I was
So
like,
cool.
health science, you are so right there for me.
That's amazing.
So June 20th, it's a Saturday.
June 20th. Actually, it's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
It's a Friday, yeah.
I'm back. Okay, so you'll remember Radio Land and Facebook World. Friday, June
evening.
20th, 6 o'clock p.m., $40.
Yes.
Stay tuned for the location.
Stay tuned for the location. We
Where
did
do they-
talk about it.
Where do they go for the information about the location?
Okay, so right now, well, here's one of them. The other would be my Facebook currently, and of course, I'm with the Chamber of Commerce, so
Woo!
I know they will be helping me out
Yep,
in that.
GrahamChamber.org on the calendar. She's going to send us flyer and information.
And sign up for the newsletter and get it to your inbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it in 2 different inboxes, and I love it, because I may miss it in one. So I'm glad I signed up on 2 emails.
Nice.
Amber Rose Ferguson, Missy Spoon, Bare Yogi, thank you guys so much for
Thank
being
you.
here. And Vance and Kay, I appreciate it all the time.
Thank you.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it every single day. I'm out of here for now, but back on Monday. Till then, have a great weekend.
Thank you.
So, David, do you love how Camilla's putting
I
so much?
apologize. Say it again.
Do you love how Camilla's putting so much on emails? It's so much.
It's great.
I didn't even realize it till the
Yeah,
other day. I
yeah.
was showing her, and I'm just like scrolling.